Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up now. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up now.
Hey guys, I had to add myself. Hey, there's Nancy. She scared me kind of when I looked back there. Welcome in everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. What is it, Wednesday? I think it is Wednesday. It's hump day. And it's the 30th. It's almost the end of the month, which I don't know. I don't like that because we only have one more month of summer. Not to be a Debbie Downer or anything, you know. I mean, this summer has been weird. If it's been weird for you, let me know because it's been weird for me. But it's beautiful out today. So I'm going to do an early live and then I'm going to go and sit by the pool. Usually I can only handle about 20 minutes of that and then I get too hot. But welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. My name is Tanya, or Titanium Built, for those of you that are new to the channel. Thank you for joining. If you are new, put in the comments or put in the chat where you're from. We'd love to know. We love to know when there's new people watching. So how's everybody doing today? Having a good day? Having a good Wednesday? Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Simple Southern Mama. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Citizen Sleuth. Hey, Nicole. It's not too busy in here. I can say hi to people. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Triple L. And yeah, Nicole, I'll look into that. I mean, let me know their name. Was it Williams Matthew? Infant was found in New York. Oh, yes, I think I heard about that. And they're searching for like 3 people, right? Is that the same one? Let me know because I think I might have saw something about that. That's insanity. Was found in a yard in the car seat. I've said this before. I feel like there needs to be, I think for everybody, I think we could all use it. I'm not a parent, but if I was, I'd want it. Like, why don't they keep you in the hospital a little longer? Or like before you have your baby, maybe give you some classes that you like must take. Like everybody that's a first time parent. It's like a requirement, like I mean, nothing. I mean, they can't hold your baby hostage or nothing, but just like take the classes, like kind of like home ec or something. It's like don't leave your kid in the front yard in a car seat. That's like number one. That reminds me actually of the girl that put her baby in the oven and then she put her baby in the car seat, left it by the door. Oh, why do people put them in the car seat? Safety? They think they're safe there. The car seat will watch them. Hey, Lord, Mama. I've been like looking into this for the last couple of days, and I've just was like, we need to cover it. It's really sad. It's a case that needs to be covered more. I haven't seen a lot of people covering it. Hey, Rita. Oh, you're not feeling well, Ladybug. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. I can't handle this heat. I won't thrive one bit in hell. I'm the same way. I'd get too hot. Hey, Willow's True Crime. Yes. Okay, I saw that. And I meant to write you back. It came up on my phone. What was the question? Oh, about your time hours. Okay, so what it is the people. I think this is what it is. Your watch time hours are different than your views, if that makes sense. Your like for every like 1,000 views. This is like being. I don't know for sure. I don't know the number. I'm just being like dramatic kind of. But like for every 1,000 views, you'll get like 3 watch views, and you're like, what the heck? And I can't remember exactly like what the difference is. Like I think I don't know. People have to be on the like on the live or whatever for a while, but lives will get you watch hours quicker than pre-recorded. So if that helps, let me know. Hey Margot. At the gym? That's awesome. I'd actually worked out in here today. I was going to go down to the gym and I was like, I don't want to. 4 were found dead. Oh my gosh. That's a different case then. Have a pedigree. They can reproduce to bring a child into this world. Yeah, me too. I do. I would take the classes. Give them to me. Give them all to me. Give them to me now. Just because I have nieces and nephews. Shoot. Take them now. Hey, Margot, how you doing? Working all, yeah, like that. Actually, I don't know how you do it. Hey, Shao. Yeah, I saw that he was like, like his channel is like his views blew up. I saw that because I listened to him here and there. I used to listen to him a little bit through the Idaho 4 case, just here and there. But I haven't checked. I checked out one video, I think, but I saw that he was on News Nation. I was like, am I seeing things? Like you know what I mean? And I was like, what? Am I seeing things here? And so I did see it though. Hey, mi amore. Is it 4 dead somewhere else, Nicole, or the one that the one that you're talking about? Because I do have it wrote down. Oh, they only uploaded 2 minutes. Oh, I don't know. That's weird. That's something I don't know. That's weird. I'll look into it. I'll think about it. It is heartbreaking. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through a timeline. I'm going to actually turn my camera off for just a second. I'm going to grab a tissue because like my eye is bothering me a little bit. Sometimes if I just like wipe it with like, at the bottom of the tissue, it works. Okay. I don't know. It usually works. It just feels like I'm trying to describe it to you guys. I'm trying to describe to what my prosthetic feels like. It just feels like extra moist or something. I don't know. But it's fine. We're fine. Hey, Pearl. Post-dinner crime discussion. Pearl, I have a question for you. Where are you from? Like, not like you don't have to like dox yourself. You know what I mean? Like, are you from the United States? Or are you from somewhere else? I really don't know. And I'd love to know that. Because I want to see what time it is over there. I always like to know the times. It's freaky to me when people are like ahead of us. So it's just like, what? Like people will be like, I'm in tomorrow. And I'm like, that's weird. Okay. So I have it kind of blown up, but that's okay. We can actually maybe take it back. Oh, look at that. We can take it on back. Okay. So I did a timeline and then I figured we'll do this timeline, which it's not this one. I don't know why I didn't pull up this one. That's my Canva. But we'll go over this timeline and then I have like the composite sketch of the, the guy that they're looking for. And then there's a couple articles that we could go through and then we'll watch Nancy Grace because she did a whole almost hour episode and she normally only does like 45 minutes. So, but when it comes to like kids, you know how she is. So I haven't got a chance. I didn't watch it yet. So I'm going to watch it with you guys. But I think it'll be pretty good. And thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. I know this is a new case. If you haven't heard of it, we're going to try to get you caught up with everything. And if you guys don't mind, like I said, take a minute, hit the like button. If you'd like to join our channel membership, it's posted up at the top. So, oh, in the middle of England, 6:30. Oh, I love that. I'd always like to go to another country, but I'm not good with plane rides. Like I don't care about being in a plane. It's just sitting still. So I just put under Devil's Den murders. But the Devil's Den State Park double homicide. So what happened was there were parents and they went out on a hike with their two little girls. Their face are blurred out, for a reason, obviously. But the two parents were killed while they were on this hike. So the daughters are ages 7 and 9, and this happened on July 26, 2025 in Washington County, Arkansas. I don't know if we've had a case out of Arkansas, and if we have, it's been a while. I can't think of any. If you guys can remember one, let me know. Timeline of the murders, though. So July 26 at 2:30, Washington County EMS receives a call reporting a possible assault at Devil's Den State Park. The same day at 2:40, the Kansas State Police, which is known as the ASP, is notified of a double homicide at Devil's Den State Park. Law enforcement responds to the scene, searching for victims and a possible suspect. Within an hour of the search, first responders hear yells for help. While searching the Devil's Den Trail, a 1.5-mile loop, the bodies of Clinton and Cristen Brink are found on the lower Devil's Den Trail. And their ages, I forgot to tell you their ages. So Clinton David Brink is 43 and Cristen is 41. So then the bodies, they were found on the lower Devil's Den Trail, a remote area with thick vegetation and no cell phone service. The couple's daughters are unharmed and later placed with family members. Now, I don't know how far those little girls were from the parents' bodies, but that's devastating. They're so little. Like, who would do this? Like, who would? And they just moved to the area. This is so weird. So the same day, that evening, ASP issues a description of a person of interest. So they're on it. A white male, medium build, wearing a long sleeve shirt with rolled up sleeves, dark pants, a dark baseball cap, sunglasses, fingerless gloves. That's weird. It's July, almost August, and carrying a black backpack. He was seen driving a black four-door sedan, possibly a Mazda, but I've heard other people say different. I don't know. When I've seen the car, that's what I saw on Tony Bruschi's. He showed the car. To me, it does look like more of a Mercedes, but I don't know. He was seen driving the Mazda, though, with license plate covered by tape, heading towards park exit on State Highway 170 or 220. So, rolling around with tape on your license plate. He was in the park for I don't know how long, but nobody noticed that and was like, that's kind of odd. I don't know. I'd be like, what the heck's this person doing? What's their license plate number? I'm gonna go over there and pick up the tape. I'm nosy. July 26, 27, the victims' bodies are sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab for autopsies to determine the exact cause of death. ASP's Criminal Investigation Division takes over the suspected homicide case. All trails at Devil's Den State Park are closed until further notice. July 27th, throughout the day, ASP requests park visitors from July 26th to review cell phone, GoPro, or camera footage for images of the suspect. Residents near the park are asked to check security or game camera footage for the suspect or his vehicle. Authorities emphasize not posting potential evidence online to avoid jeopardizing the investigation. And I've never heard anybody say that before, and that's smart to say. That's because there's people out there that will straight put that on the internet first and try to get some money. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that they put that little disclaimer in there. July 27th, 2025 at 3:40. Welcome in, everybody. ASP releases additional details confirming the victims' identities and their recent move to Prairie Grove, Arkansas, from another state, possibly South Dakota or Montana. The investigation continues with no motive disclosed. I've never been to any of those places, Arkansas, South Dakota, or Montana. I bet they're beautiful, though. July 27th, in the evening, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders issues a statement expressing condolences and confirming her office's coordination with law enforcement. July 28th, the victims' families release a statement calling Clinton and Cristen heroes for protecting their daughters, requesting privacy and urging the public to share information with authorities. The FBI joins the investigation, providing manpower and specialized resources. Always good to have the FBI in, you know? They have so much that they can do. Just incredible resource, right? July 28th, 25, evening, ASP releases a composite sketch of the person of interest described as a man in the park on July 26 who likely sustained an injury during the attack. And this is the composite sketch that they put out. Kind of generic. But, I mean, the jawbone is pretty defined, it looks like. I don't know. Usually, like, when they do a composite, not all the time, but sometimes, they'll put something that's, like, whatever their prominent feature is. Like, say I have a big nose, right? They would make that even more prominent on my sketch so that people would look straight at that and be like, that person has a big nose. Like, you know what I mean? Like, their focus would be on that spot. But he looks just kind of like generic, you know? I know, Willows. That's the crazy thing. If this is random, I mean, that's what it seems like. They just moved there. And I mean, why you wouldn't move somewhere that you know you're going to get murdered, right? Like, you know, someone's after you and you wouldn't move to the spot where they're at. Like, they seem like they were just taking a walk with their daughters. That's so incredibly sad. July 29th, ASP releases a photo of the person of interest. Oh, I think I read that right. Oh, no, this is different. Taken by a witness showing the man's back to accompany the sketch. The manhunt continues with ASP following all leads and increasing law enforcement presence in the parks. So the image of the guy is this one here. He looks small to me. Does he look small to y'all? Like, he looks like he's going to be goofy looking in the front. I mean, I ain't going to lie. He looks goofy in the back. He's wearing a lot of stuff, too. Is he homeless, do you think? No. He'd have more of the stuff on him, I would think. But, like, I mean, why? I mean, what would be the motive other than you're mentally really messed up, or you just wanted to see what it felt like to kill someone? But with kids, you could have picked. I mean, I'm not saying kill anybody, but like there's a ton of people probably in that park, right? Let me see something really quick. Actually, I'm not good with going backwards, so the 26th was on Saturday. It would have been busy. It would have been like people would have been in the park, and he's like, I'm going to kill someone. And it's going to be with these two people with their two daughters. I don't get it. Taking on two people, right? I know, Ashley. Yeah, I've been looking into him. And I think last thing I heard was they pulled back police presence. Like you know what I mean? They pulled back on the search. He said he's like 5'10". Okay. To me, he just looks shorter than that, like 5'6", 5'8". You know what I mean? I don't know why, but he just does. It must just be like the angle of the shot. But I'm glad that they got a picture of him, right? Like, I'm glad that they weren't scared to take a picture. I would have been so scared. Like, I get nervous about stuff like that. Okay. So we just have a little bit more. Let's see. So then July 30th, the investigation remains ongoing with the suspects still at large. No further updates on or an arrest or additional evidence has been reported. Then some extra notes. The exact cause of death has not been publicly disclosed, though family members reported to local media that the suspect attacked Cristen Brink with a knife, suggesting premeditation. That's how do you get two people at the same time? One person when they're walking, like, right? She must have not wanted to leave him or something. Oh, I don't know. It's scary. You can't even go for a walk with your kids. Like, that's the one thing you should be able to do. Come on now, people. It makes me so mad. The delay in public notification 6 hours after the initial report was attributed to the remote location, rugged terrain, and the time needed to gather information. We should have just gathered the information later and went and searched for the guy first. Authorities continue to urge anyone with information to contact ASP Troop L at 479-751-6663 or submit tips online, preserving original files without posting to social media. And then there's a picture of him there. Okay. And then this is the guy again that they're looking for. Man, someone's going to notice this guy, right? And if they are right about the car being a Mazda, let's say, mama's going to know. This guy's mom's going to know. If she's watching the news, which usually, people watch the news, someone's going to know. So, we'll read a couple like little articles here and then we'll watch Nancy Grace yell at us. So, a Prairie Grove couple was killed on a hiking trail at Devil's Den State Park on Saturday, and the search for the suspect is ongoing. Beautiful couple. Arkansas State Police identified the victims as David Brink, 43, and Cristen Amanda Brink, 41. Their daughters, ages 7 and 9, were unharmed and are safe with family, authorities said. I wonder where they found the girls. Because when I first started looking into this, I thought maybe the little girls ran and got help. But then it was people that were in the park called it in. Like one person called it in, was not unconscious, but something like that. And then the other person called it in. It's like, no, they're dead. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't the kids. Hey, Happy Cappy. Hey, Dawn. Welcome in, everyone. So ASP and Prairie Grove Mayor David Falk said that the family had recently moved to the area. He said in a statement on Monday that their water service was turned on in Prairie Grove on July 16th. So just 10 days before all this happened, they got their water turned on. Cristen Brink had been scheduled, and sometimes people will get their water turned on days before they move in, right? So they could have moved in even a few days after that. Brink had been scheduled to start a job as a milk delivery driver on Monday in Fayetteville. Highland Dairy, his employer, said in a statement, he had transferred from Hilliard Dairy's parent company, Prairie Farms Dairy, in South Dakota. So it looks like they came from South Dakota. Cristen and Cristen died heroes protecting their little girls, and they deserve justice, the Brink family said in a statement. They will forever live in our hearts. Danica Harrell, a nurse at the rehabilitation center in Montana, told the Associated Press that the Brinks had also lived in that state for several years, starting around 2018, and played on a recreational volleyball team. In the summer, the Brinks would set up the volleyball net at the local park and encourage people to play. Oh. Harrell said that when she struggled to find childcare, the Brinks allowed her daughter to stay with them without a thought, and that Cristen Brink would often bring a plate of food when she brought the girl back home. Good people. They were selfless and unconditional with their love and support for their friends, Harrell said. ASP is still searching for a suspect connected to the couple's death. On Monday, the FBI said its Little Rock office would assist ASP in search efforts. A composite sketch of the suspect was released by ASP on Monday evening. He was described as a white man with a medium build. Authorities believe he's wearing a long sleeve shirt with the sleeves rolled up because he's hot as hell, as well as black pants, a dark ball cap, and sunglasses. He probably smells like shit too. Just saying. ASP says he believes the man was wearing a black backpack and was wearing fingerless gloves when he escaped from Devil's Den. Wonder if he wonder if it was like close to the one of the beginnings of the trails, like, you know what I mean, where he could like dip out. Police say he was seen driving towards a park exit in a black four-door sedan believed to be a Mazda with the license plate covered by electrical or duct tape. That's premeditation right there. I'm sure he did that. Well, maybe not, unless he did it after. Then that's covering your stuff. You know, you're concealing evidence. Yeah. But do you think he duct taped it before or after? Because I guess if he duct taped it before, people would notice that, right? I'd be like, that's weird. But if he duct taped it after, I mean, people might be getting out of their cars and being like, what's he doing? It's so weird to me. Oh, okay. Thanks, Shell. Until they couldn't hear their mama scream. Oh my God, that's terrible. I mean, oh my God. They're so young. They're so young. I mean, like, I mean, 7 and 9? Thank goodness that he didn't do anything to those little girls. I mean, other than they're going to need therapy for like ever. But thank God he didn't physically hurt them. And I would think that that's what their parents would say too if they were here. That's just sad. This one, I think it's just the same. Oh, okay. I was like wanting to read this actually. Okay. So the FBI, right here, I was going to read. So the FBI is helping the Arkansas State Police in the investigation by providing additional manpower and specialized resources, according to Jessica Franklin, agency spokesperson. If someone wanted to get away with a heinous crime, they would probably go to a place like this, said Angelo Brown, an assistant professor of criminology at Arkansas State University. It lacks cell phone reception. That's an important factor, you know. So by the time the news got out, he's probably 100 miles away. Okay, if your phone doesn't have service, can you call 911 though? Like, I thought you still could call 911 without service. Let me see. Yeah. It says, yes, you can usually call 911 on a cell phone, even if it has no service or it's disconnected. Federal law requires wireless carriers to connect 911 calls regardless of whether the phone has been active subscription or is from another carrier. However, without service, your phone's location might not be transmitted to the 911 center and they might not be able to call you back if disconnected. So yeah. Hey, Daphne. Hey, Jersey Jen. So, okay. I mean, they would have been able to call at least 911. I mean, I'm not saying that they had a chance, but I was just wondering if, you know. It seems the majority of cases that are similar to this, it takes, you know, a long time, you know, months, years, even sometimes decades to solve these cases. I heard that today and I was like, ASP said he had a long sleeve shirt with sleeves rolled up, dark pants, a dark baseball cap, sunglasses, a black backpack, and fingerless gloves. Well, if anybody knows about fingerless gloves, it's Nancy Grace. So we're going to play her here in a minute. Because she has those bright green ones that she wore to Idaho that her kid made her. I'm trying to see if there's anything that's new. This person probably has some type of experience with violence. They are willing to stab two strangers with children around. Wow. Clinton David Brink, 43, and Cristen Amanda Brink, 41, had just moved to Prairie Grove from another state. Prairie Grove is about a half-hour drive from Devil's Den. Prairie Grove, that just sounds like a nice place to live. Like, I feel like you could be mad if you lived in a place called Prairie Grove. I don't know. It just sounds like it should be in like a TV show. They were hiking on Saturday with their two daughters, 7 and 9. The girls weren't hurt in the attack and are now safe with family members. Man, they're probably having tears. That's so sad. I pray for the people that, whoever the family members are that have those two little girls, you're a blessing for first and foremost. And second, you're a freaking blessing. Because I know that you're probably going through hell with those little girls right now, with them having nightmares and PTSD and you know, like, oh man, it's just sad. So prayers for everybody. So the Brinks family members provided a statement to ABC News. The family is asking for can I read? The family is asking for privacy during this very difficult time as they grieve and learn how to navigate this new reality. They ask that if anyone has any information that at all that will help in the investigation, to please contact the proper authorities immediately. Clinton and Cristen died heroes protecting their little girls, and they deserve justice. They will forever live in all of our hearts. Okay. She already looks pissed. I always get her paws on the right spot. I think this is the beginning though. It is. Look at her. She's just mad. All right, let's see what Nancy's got to say. I wonder if anyone's on her show with her. And I don't think she's on Merit anymore. Okay, let's see who she's with. Nobody, I don't think. Oh. Yeah, she usually has. Okay, yep, she usually has them in there. So, all right, let's listen to Nancy. And thanks again for being here, guys. I appreciate it. I'll be in the chat with you. I will pause it whenever, like, we need to for commentary or whatever. Hey, Maga Mommy, you actually just made it in time. We went through the timeline and stuff, but I think Nancy will probably hit all of that stuff up again. So I think we're good to go. But thank you guys all for being here. I do appreciate it. I will just put this up one more time before we play Nancy. Just try to remember this face if you live in Arkansas, if you live in the surrounding states. Who knows how far he could be? I mean, really, he left Saturday, so. And then Nancy actually put another episode, another like 11, 12 minute episode out after this. She put it out today, so there is an update. So we'll hear that when we're done with this. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like for Nancy back there. I kind of messed her up by putting her under the chair, so I think I'm going to leave her up and like put her somewhere and just leave her up because I'm scared she's going to break. But thank you guys for being here, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do that as well.
Devil's Den horror. A mom and a dad both slaughtered trying to protect their little daughters from the hiking trail killer. This as the FBI joins in the manhunt. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
Advised this just occurred at Devil's Den. Unit still en route. Attacked a male and a female on Devil's Den hiking trail, and then took off in a small black sports car with tape over the plate. And we suspect the suspect of injuries due to the witness seeing the suspect.
Striking fear in every parent's heart. I just got back from taking the twins hiking. These two parents with their two little girls slaughtered at the Devil's Den State Park. As we go to air, a major update in the search for the perp that allegedly murdered a mom and dad on a popular hiking trail. Straight out to Crime Stories investigative reporter Sydney Sumner. What happened?
Arkansas State Police just released a possible photo of the suspect. Unfortunately, it's from behind. So we're just seeing the back of his head. He's standing on what looks like the edge of a cliff looking out over an overlook. And the description matches what
Why didn't someone just push him? I'm just kidding.
they have been putting out there. He's
I'm
wearing
kidding.
long black pants, a long sleeve black shirt. It looks like there's a design on the black of the shirt. It looks like it's a red square with blue filling the border. He's carrying a black backpack in what looks like a duffel bag, and his baseball cap is a light tan. He does appear to have sandy blonde or light brown hair. ASP didn't give us much information on where they got this photo. Maybe another hiker on the trail who just happened to catch the suspect in this position, and it's now zoomed in a better photo. So we're unsure of where exactly they got this, but just so unfortunate that it doesn't have his face.
The parents were attacked and murdered with the children present. With the children present. Why? Why attack these two loving parents? Again, with me an all-star panel, straight out to Danette Sosa. She is joining us from Devil's Den there in Arkansas, formerly KNWA. Nanette, thank you for being with us. What do we know at this hour?
As far as the park is concerned, all the trails are closed here at Devil's Den, Devil Den's State Park. The police and FBI has now helped in this search. Extra caution has been taken. More patrol is on scene. However, we're only allowed through the exterior of the park. As you can see, there are two entrances. This is one entrance. You see the sign behind me, and then there's another more toward the north end of this park.
Nanette, did you just tell me there are only two entrance exits?
It's a highway that runs through here. When I say ingress and egress, or entrances and exits. So you have a main highway. You come off, you have an option to come off the main interstate, which is Interstate 49. Then you take a smaller highway, 74. Then that will connect you to two highways here toward this particular park, which is Highway 220 or the Highway 174. So those are the two, and they can loop around, and you can go on or off through those highways.
Right. Okay, that's important. I'm gathering that there are only two entrance exits, formal entrance and exits. But let me go straight out, guys. Joining me at the scene, Devil's Den State Park, now to an expert, Chris Adams, swamp survival expert, environmental educator. You can find him at Turtle Man on Facebook, renowned survivalist. Chris, you have studied the terrain. And when I was asking Nanette Sosa, are there only two entrance and exits? The reason I'm asking that, obviously, is because I want to find out who was the perp. And if he did exit, those are the two formal entry and exits, right? If he was by car, that's where we're going to get an ID on him. However, as you know from working at multiple state parks, and some of them extremely, extremely tough terrain, you can walk in and out of a state park practically anywhere, right, Chris Adams?
If you know how to get in and out of a place, you can get in and out fairly easy.
Let's go back to that last shot where it was describing the terrain. Guys, you are seeing the entrance and exit, and it looks pretty idyllic, but the terrain is actually very, very difficult. Chris Adams, familiar with this terrain. Describe it for me, Chris. This guy, if he did not leave through one of the formal entry and exits, which we believe he did, but we don't know that, what would he be up against now? Crooked, steep, no through trucks, RV trailers, only certain lengths can go in because of the terrain. Tell me about the terrain, Chris Adams.
Well, unlike my home, it is anything but flat. I mean, there's rock formations, there's caverns, there's creeks, wooded areas, even waterfalls. You know, that's the perfect area for disaster. If you're walking through there and roll an ankle, I mean, you've got to know the terrain to be able to navigate the terrain. And this is not easy terrain to navigate by any means.
I'm glad you said that, Chris Adams. Joining me now, Ron Bateman, former sheriff at Anne Arundel County in Maryland, former homicide and undercover narc. You know, Ron, you're especially equipped for today because you studied and worked the Rachel Morin Hiker Trail murder. And what Chris Adams just said is extremely important. Did this guy know the area, much like Delphi, where Abby and Liberty were murdered on a local trail? Nobody would know about it unless you were from there. I suspect this guy
That's
knew
true.
the terrain really
I went to Delphi, and you have to know where you're going to get there.
well. And
And,
like in the
and we covered the Rachel Morin case, and I was just thinking of that. Like, she couldn't even go on a run with, her AirPods in without getting murdered. So it's just sad.
case of Rachel Morin that we were just showing on the Ma and Pa Trail, that guy lay in wait. That's what I think about this guy. Why do I care? Because maybe somebody saw him. Weigh in. What do you think about this lying in wait? A mother and a father dead, leaving behind 3 girls, 1 a teen, and 2 itty bitty children, little to grow up without mom and dad. What do you think, Ron?
It's horrible. And that's the first thing I thought of when I read this case about Rachel Morin's case. There's so many ways to get in and out of that woods to the Ma and Pa Trail as it is for this situation here. Yeah, there might be 2 formal ways in and out, but I'm sure there's numerous ways. Like Chris just said, if you know the terrain, you're going to get in and get out. So I'm sure this guy knew where he was going and knew what he planned on doing, and then carried out his act.
Okay, so I was looking at, I wanted to look at this. So there's 2 highways on each side of the Devil's Den. And then it looks like the parking lot was here. So it looks like it was pretty close, like I said, to the parking lot. That looks pretty close. And then he just runs back to the parking lot. Or probably doesn't even run. Probably just walks back. I don't know. I don't know what he did. I mean, whoever this is isn't all there. But it looks pretty close to me. And then he probably got on Highway 220. If that was me, that's what I would do. I wouldn't go all the way to Highway 170 because I would be afraid I'd get caught. I don't know.
And the point of that, Andrew Lewis is joining me, a high-profile lawyer, partner Cersei Law, former felony prosecutor. Andrea, the point is, I'm on to finding this guy. I think, A, he knew the terrain really well, like Chris Adams was pointing out. I think he lay in wait, which gives me a bead on who may have seen him. What time did he get there? And why did he identify these 2? It's really rare, and you've tried a lot of cases, as have I, for one person to take on 2 adults. And he leaves the children. The children live. They go running, screaming at the top of their lungs. They're witnesses. Do I like putting children on the stand? No, I don't. Do you do it when you have to? Yes, you do. But for one guy to take on 2 adults, very peculiar. And I believe he had to know the terrain, Andrea.
Nancy, you're exactly right. And if you look at the photographs of the husband and father, he does not appear to be a relatively small man. So this guy not only...
I don't mean to interrupt her, but what if he had like a stun gun or something, right? And he walks up to this family and he's asking them for help. So that way he can get close enough to them in order to stun the father. Right? Because I'm trying to think of how you can do this with 2 people out in the woods where one of them wouldn't just take off running. But then again, if you're a couple and your kids are sitting there, you're not going to run without your children, right? Like you just wouldn't. Maybe it would be a reaction to run. I don't know, but you would think that you'd take your children or something. So I don't know. I think that they didn't want to leave each other or something. Thank you, Marcy. I appreciate that. This is crazy. Mega Mama, you did your homework. You did well. You did well.
Did he know what he was doing? Not only was he there prepared, but he took on somebody that likely had some force and ability to fight back. Now, you bring up a very good point, right? Which is, what was
She
the
looks strong
motive here?
too.
And two, were the parents the intended target? We know he certainly intended to kill them, but was he actually after the two young girls, similar to a Delphi type situation where he may have been actually looking for young girls to prey upon? We don't know yet. But this whole thing is very unusual and absolutely a horrific crime.
Angela Lewis, put her up, please. You say something like that and you expect everybody to just go to sleep tonight, put their head on the pillow and have sweet dreams? Now, we've heard over and over, Andrew, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong at all, because what we keep hearing is they died, mom and dad, dead on a hiking trail. And we keep hearing trying to protect their daughters. That had to come from somewhere. We're not hearing they died because they were robbed, or they died because, like Rachel Morin, she was brutally sex attacked on the Ma and Pa Trail. We're not hearing any of that, but we are hearing they died trying to protect their daughters. And that brings in what you just said, a blood-curdling thought that the perp was trying to get the girls, and the parents fought back and told the girls to run, like any parent would do, Andrea.
You know, and Nancy, is horrible and just unfathomable as it is to really picture that. It fits what we're seeing here, because what we know, whether it be from witnesses or maybe even the girls themselves, is that they're reporting that he was injured. So certainly if mom and dad know that this predator is coming after these young girls, they're going to fight for not only their own lives, but also for their children. And you can certainly see a circumstance where the parents injure him, tell the girls to run, as you just noted. And that would really explain exactly what we're hearing from investigators. Now, only time will tell. Certainly there are other motives, but that is certainly a chilling one that investigators will have to rule out.
Dr. Jeff Gardier is joining us. You know him well. We have been analyzing cases together since, I know for a fact, 1997. Clinical psychology professor at Touro College of Osteopathic Medicine, called America's Psychologist.
That was what? Oh no, that wasn't around that case. I thought it was. I thought that was around the Scott Peterson case, but it wasn't.
Dr. Jeff, you and I have studied so many cases, and when we were covering a case together at Court TV, we talked about parents that tell their children, that turn and attack the attacker and tell the children, run. And the more we're analyzing this case, the more that's becoming apparent. The two little girls did that. They ran, Dr. Jeff. And I think it is a child this young, anyway, impulse to stay with the parents, even though the parents are getting slaughtered. They'll stay right there. They might scream, they might run around, but they won't leave unless they're told, run. And that is what parents are told.
I believe her. I believe her. I mean, I don't think she's like saying it to be like sensational, like to sensationalize this case. Because in the all of the I'm trying to think, all of the things that, you know, the families put out has said that they were protecting the girls. Now, I don't know if they just said that because the girls survived. Do you know what I mean? Like, and some people, like, they just, in their mind, they're like, oh, they were protecting them. Or if they were really protecting them. Like, maybe he was after that, because that would make more sense to me why he targeted a family. If he was after those girls, right? That makes more sense to me. Because if I was just going to like murder somebody, I would probably pick like a single person, you know, or if I wanted to do two and do a double, I'd probably pick somebody without like kids, you know what I mean? Like it would be just, I feel like I would be easier if I was the killer, you know? So I just don't know. I think maybe he was trying to go for those girls.
They're instructed to tell their children if the family's under attack. I told my children that when they were little, and I still tell them that. If anything happens, Run. Leave your father and I, leave me, and run and go get help. In other words, get to safety. Do you think that's what happened, Dr. Jeff?
There is quite that possibility, Nancy, and you're absolutely right. When we tell our kids to run, it's for their own safety, but it's also to get help. And what we're seeing here is there is the possibility that this killer, whether premeditated or not, was an individual with this kind of struggle going on, who was acting with intense emotional state, rage, or frustration. And that was also very scary to the children. But that impulse of the parents to protect their children by any means, of course, is admirable and what we want to see in parents. They sacrifice their lives, it seems, here.
I want to go back to our special guest, Chris Adams, aka Turtle Man, who is a wildlife survivalist. Chris, we are learning that the little girls said that they ran until they couldn't hear their mom screaming anymore. Now, it was, and Annette Sosa will jump in if I've got this wrong, it was about a mile to the visitor center. What does that mean? The perp could have been watching them, could have followed them in and tailed them for a mile. But more importantly, these two little girls ran for a mile. Two little girls ran under the age of 10, ran for a mile in this terrain, Chris, hearing their mother screaming. And we believe they were running downhill over all the rocks and the ups and the downs and the cracks in the surface. What would that have been like for little children in this terrain running?
Firstly, that's horrific and not only so unnerving, considering I've worked, in wildlands all across the southern part of Georgia here. But the terrain in that type of area, it cuts, and I can only imagine, an adult trying to do that. But two children, their legs are smaller. They're not getting enough, windage running like that. They're wearing themselves out, tripping, stumbling, falling. It would cut them up pretty bad, or at least bruise them up. And in the temperatures like it's been, the highs out there have been in the mid to lower 90s. And I can't imagine what the humidity's been like, but any amount of time running in that heat, it'd wear a little child out very easily.
Right now, the FBI joining in the search. I want this guy found. I want him brought to justice. You don't think these two little girls are going to hear their mother's screams for the rest of their lives every time they go to bed? They will.
We're all sweeping the trail, me, and I've got a maintenance person with me, interpreters with first aid kits trying to locate the family.
Hear yells calling for help. We're hiding down.
10-4, we're hearing them too towards the end of the lower part of the Devil's Den Trail. Try to relay to the office that we found the victims down here. They're on the lower Devil's Den Trail. I've got two bodies.
Please join us on our mission to find missing people, especially children, to solve unsolved homicides. If you're on the go, catch us on your favorite podcast app, where you can get all of our content, where we, in our own way, seek justice.
Authorities believe Arkansas mom and dad fought for their daughters' lives in a brutal attack in Devil's Den State Park that leaves both parents dead.
We are live at Devil's Den State Park. The slaughter of a mother and father, we've been told, protecting their own children. Joining us there at Devil's Den, Annette Sosa, investigative reporter, but also with us, Crime Stories investigative reporter Sydney Sumner. I'm hoping, based on what we've heard, that the perp was in fact injured. Why do we think that? Is there a glimmer of hope that we've got the perp's blood or DNA, be it skin, blood, anything?
Well, Nancy, we have very little information on what exactly happened to these parents, to this perpetrator. So we have some reports from 911 operators who took the call from police dispatch radio that one of these little girls saw their father stabbed by this suspect. So we don't know exactly what they saw, but I think police are on this theory that the suspect had a knife, he attacked these parents, and those parents were protecting their children, and they were not going to go down without a fight and make sure that this perpetrator did not attack their two little girls. So I think police believe that this suspect may have defensive wounds from the parents who were trying to fight him off.
Be on the
I
lookout
would
for a
say
white male
so.
suspect wearing black gloves, sunglasses, dark-colored pants. According to witness, direction of travel was, quote, went across a bridge leaving Devil's Den and stayed on the highway, end quote.
Okay, this is what we know about the perp, what he looked like. We believe white male, black gloves, sunglasses, dark pants, long sleeve shirt rolled up. Interesting. The only way his face is covered is with sunglasses. We're not hearing about a hat. We've also heard he had dark blonde to light brown hair.
He had a hat.
Learning more at this hour. Listen.
First responders hear screams and calls for help. By the time they reach the victims on the trail, it's clear the victims are deceased. No sign of their attacker. Officers quickly clear the trail, speaking with hikers as they exit the park to piece together what happened. Several hikers remember passing the family and many others on the trail, but a few point out there was only one person they saw alone on the trail that day, a medium-build white man wearing dark clothes, a ball cap, and sunglasses with dark blonde or light brown hair.
Suspect is going to be a white male wearing black gloves, sunglasses, a dark-colored pants, and a dark-colored tank top. He took off in a small black sports car with taped over plates. Direction of travel went across the bridge, leaving Devil's Den, and stayed on the highway.
Yeah, he had a
Curious, I'm
hat. He did have a hat.
hearing an inconsistency. Some reports state that the perp had on a long sleeve shirt with the sleeves rolled up, and there we're hearing police dispatch state that he had on a tank top.
Yeah, that's weird.
Very curious that there would be a knife attack in the kind of heat that Chris Adams is describing.
They said, I mean, everywhere that I've read when I got, the description, it says ASP issued a description of the person of interest, a white male of medium build wearing a long sleeve shirt with rolled up sleeves, dark pants, a dark baseball cap, sunglasses, fingerless gloves, and carrying a black backpack. So that's what we got from everywhere else.
Wearing a tank top. Let's think that through. Is that how he was injured? Joining me, an all-star panel, but now to Dr. Priya Banerjee, board-certified forensic pathologist, anatomic pathologist. Dr. Priya, thank you for being with us. Dr. Priya, we're told that the perp was injured.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be evidence of that. It's got to be blood. It's got to be. Explain, how would we know, looking at the victims' bodies, that the perp had been injured?
Great question. I think that's where the money's at. This is a stabbing up close and personal. And I mean, just breaks my heart as a girl mom too, of a 10-year-old, that they witnessed this. So this was not just a single stab. It sounds like a very violent altercation. So we need to look at the victim's hands, look for defensive wounds, and what's the state of their nails, if there's any debris under them, and rush that evidence. That is going to be where the DNA is. They didn't give up. They fought back to save their kids. And really, that's where any sort of DNA is going to be. I've even swabbed hands at autopsy to try to get touch DNA or residual. Any blood drops, you look to see if there's any vertical blood drops, like with the spatter pattern, to make sure and see if potentially you can identify whether it's victim's blood or what I'm hoping is injured assailant's blood on clothing, whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's where the money will be for the DNA.
To Nanette Sosa joining us from Devil's Den State Park. We are also learning that the two little girls, just 7 and 9, who were running for their lives, say the perp stabbed their dad, and their mom yelled at them to run as far and fast as they can for help. And they heard the mom asking, "Why are you doing this?" and start to scream.
Exactly, Nancy. That is what was reported, with the mother in distress, telling and trying to save her girls, telling them to run. And when they did run, they made it for their life about a mile away from where the attack happened. Reports state that the parents were found on the walking trail.
Dr. Jeff Gardier with us, clinical psychologist and professor. Dr. Jeff, the brazen nature of the attack. And I'm going to circle back to Ron Bateman, same thing in the Rachel Morin case. Dr. Jeff, we know that there were other people on the trail, other adults. In fact, these two little girls, 7 and 9, were running. They could hear their mom screaming in the background. They saw their dad get stabbed. As of now, they have not identified the perp. So it's not someone known to the little girls. But if there were other people on the trail, this guy has the size of coconuts. I mean, he's on the trail, can get caught, and he attacks with a knife anyway. The girls say they saw dad getting stabbed. That's where we're getting the idea that this was a stabbing, which, as you heard earlier from Dr. Priya, is up close and personal, as she describes it. It's a whole nother mindset to stab somebody dead. It's not like a sniper in the distance, taking a long shot. This is
up
somebody
close,
fighting
personal.
with you, grappling with you, screaming, trying to get away, trying to attack you, and you keep stabbing repeatedly. And the brazen nature of doing this on a trail where there's a lot of people.
So this is a person who probably waited to make sure that the trail was empty and only the parents and the children were there. That's number one. Number two, the fact, Nancy, as you so aptly said here, this was with a knife and not a gun. So as Dr. Priya would agree, I would think that this is about a very personal attack, even if he didn't know the individuals, someone who wants to violate a family in every way possible by striking terror into their hearts and that of the children. And one last point here, that the father perhaps was stabbed first, but the mother may not have just been fighting off this individual, but also trying to keep that individual from chasing after the children. And therefore, whatever fighting she was doing was to protect herself, but at the same time, to also try to contain this individual long enough for the children to get away.
What's supposed to be a memorable family hike ends in a brutal tragedy when the bodies of a mom and dad are suddenly discovered in Arkansas State Park.
As soon as this went public late last night, social media went wild, and we're learning a lot. Listen.
Social media accounts are flooded with comments and accounts from visitors to Devil's Den State Park on Saturday, and one mother is convinced her family passed both the Brinks and their possible killer on Devil's Den Trail. The mom says she and her 5 children ran into a family of 4 at a steep rock wall and exchanged pleasantries with the parents as they helped their daughters down. Not long after, the mom decided to turn back and ran into someone else at the same rock wall. This man was not interested in small talk and did not meet her eyes when she said "excuse me" on her family's behalf. The mother noticed that the man was also dressed oddly for the hot weather, wearing a dark, long-sleeve shirt.
Straight out to Chris, aka Turtle Man Adams, survivalist expert. You can find him on Facebook, Turtle Man Chris Adams. Chris, we heard at first that the perp was wearing a tank top, which would have been appropriate in this weather, as you pointed out. But why would you expose your bare arms, neck, and chest in that way for a stabbing? Then social media finds out about the murders and goes wild. A woman actually writes in that she turned back and she sees this guy wearing a dark, long sleeve shirt. And that struck her as odd given the weather. Explain what.
Shell, is it an article that says they found the person? But I just don't go. This is like one of those anybody can blog on it. So I'm going to keep looking around. But if that's what it is, let me know. Because I've been looking up just updates for this case.
What would a normal hiker be wearing at Devil's Den?
I would think it would.
An average hiker anywhere, really, at this time of year in the summer, would be wearing those fishing net shirts, breathable. You want your skin covered for the most part. Down in those canyons and caverns, if you're in broad sunlight, it can get brutal. But some will wear things like tank tops and things of that nature. But my take on the whole hoodie thing is perhaps he had the hoodie on, took it off, and he was seen in a tank top, or vice versa. If he attacked them with a tank top on, he could have well just put it on afterwards, the hoodie, to cover up any wounds on his arms.
To Ron Bateman joining us, former sheriff at Anne Arundel County, Maryland, who extensively investigated the Rachel Morin case. And we keep bringing up Rachel Morin, a mother of 5, just like this mother is a mother of 2. She was hiking solo. And I think, Ron, it was early in the morning when she was hiking.
No, it was.
That said, her boyfriend realized.
It was 6 o'clock at night. She went out at like 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And then by 11:27, I think he called the cops and reported her missing.
She didn't come home in time and starts searching, finds her car at the trailhead, and then discovers her body. Of course, he became state suspect number 1. It's the love interest. He finds the body. It wasn't him. It was a perp, an illegal immigrant in this country who had already attacked people, a young girl in LA in her own home. That said, Ron Bateman, in this case, did you hear what Chris Adams was saying? The perp, first believed to be wearing a tank top, was on this hot trail, according to the eyewitness who went back with her children. He wouldn't do any small talk. They walked past him, and the mom went, "Excuse me," on behalf of her whole family. He wouldn't speak, wouldn't look her in the eyes, and he was dressed neck to wrist to foot, right? That's not normal.
No, that's not normal at all. And it goes into the subject of, was he lying in wait, which we can talk about extensively because of other things that we know. But if I could real quick go back to something.
Do it. Because you know what? I want to hear, if you think he was lying in wait, I want to hear all the reasons why, because that will help me identify a suspect.
Okay, great. So let's talk about something Dr. Priya said real quick. I can't let it go. Yes, about the DNA underneath the fingernails, the skin. Yes, that is super important. I investigated a double murder involving the suspect using a knife in a wooded area in the past. And one of the things when you're processing a scene outdoors is extremely difficult because you don't have area where you're going to find fingerprints. But what you do have, a lot of times it's not unusual during a knife attack.
Stop. Ron Bateman. Hey, you can't just drop a bomb on us like that. A fact bomb. You're totally correct. But explain to everybody why an outdoor scene is so hard to process. I mean, in Rachel Morin, you found a pool of blood near the body, and she had been brutally sex assaulted. So we got DNA matching up to an unknown perp. But it's really hard to process an outdoor scene. Explain why. What are you going to get, a fingerprint off a tree? It's hard.
Exactly. Outdoor scenes are so difficult, especially if it ends up raining during the course of your processing. But it did in this case. But what you're looking for in a scene in the outdoors are footprints. If you have some kind of soil that's strong enough to hold a footprint. But in the case of a stabbing, it's not unusual for the assailant to be injured because of some kind of struggle that took place. So therefore, you're really honing in for blood. And they may have found blood away from the bodies as the suspect was fleeing the area. That's what I would suspect is probably going to happen in this case because Clinton Brink is a pretty big dude. He's going to put up a fight for his family, especially with a knife. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the suspect's injured and that was found as a part of the processing of the scene.
Okay, Bateman, everything.
In my opinion, I think they're going to find his DNA somewhere. I really do.
You just said is correct, except, and it's still correct, but the likelihood they're going to get a footprint on a trail, slim to none. Everything else, I'm down with it. I mean, Chris Adams, how are you going to get a footprint off a trail like this unless it's been wet and you can actually see, for instance, the tread on the bottom of the shoe? Otherwise, it's just not going to happen.
Even for a good tracker, it's going to be difficult. The park said there were very few visitors the last few days, but that doesn't mean there wasn't an influx of people a week before. I don't know if it's rained or if it hasn't, but those footprints set pretty quickly. Now, off trail, you may be able to find one much easier. Your average crowd is going to stick to that trail, but this all happened on a trail. So it's hard to determine how you're going to find that exact footprint, in my opinion.
You know, Andrea Lewis is joining us, high-profile lawyer, Cersei Law Firm, and for my purposes, former.
Well, if you're looking for shoe prints for this guy, right, you would look in the general area of where the crime happened, and I'm assuming that there would be like marks where your shoe would be like skidding back because you're trying to put force into something. So you would have like, or you're trying to fight with someone, and so the footprints would be like kind of not like, they wouldn't look perfect. Do you know what I mean? They'd be kind of like if you skidded in like something like gravel. I think that it would be more like that. But I think you'd be able to tell like which footprints were, relative or not. You might not be able to get a good cast out of them, but
felony prosecutor who has prosecuted a lot of cases, including homicide cases. Angela Lewis, there's something you brought up earlier, and Ron Bateman just brought it up. You know, we're talking about the Rachel Morin case, and I've got other similar cases like the serial killer Israel Keys, who hunted people that were RVers and hikers all across the country. And I've got him on tape talking about it, complete total perv. That said, they would pick on people that were less powerful or less cunning than themselves. There's wackadoodle right there. That's Israel Keys. He would specifically go to hiking trails, RV camps, tent camps, dispersed camping areas, and he would get people and murder them at their weakest moments. But Andrea, you brought this up, as did Bateman, and in Morin, who did the perp attack, a lone female, unarmed. Andrea, you brought it up. This guy is big. Cristen Brink, that's a big guy. Hey, control room, do you mind putting up a picture of him? You can't really tell in a lot of these pictures how big he is, because like that, I got a close up. Oh, and another thing, when I go back to Jeff Gardier, these photos are just breaking my heart. They're not professional photos. They're happy photos taken by them at some of the happiest moments of their lives. Like, I look through my phone and I see all these candid moments with David and the twins, and it's just like the happiest moments of our lives. Look at that. Look at that. It's like the ultimate American family out with their children before everybody has to go back to school on a hike, thinking they were doing a fun thing, making memories, as I like to say. But Andrea, this perp took that's a good one. He's almost as big as Woody, right? This is a big dude, right? And the perp took on not only him, but the mom.
Yes, Nancy. And, bringing up Israel Keys, that's interesting because he was, as you noted, he was also someone who waited for people in very isolated scenarios and isolated scenes. He was someone who preyed upon those who likely couldn't fight back. So it makes us wonder, we know that he goes into the isolated area, even in this case, he's armed. I presume he's assuming that those who are out for a lovely family afternoon with their small children are not going to come to the trail heavily armed. And then he looks at that as an opportunity to attack, which is obviously what happened here. Now, to your point about the size, I agree with you. And that strikes me as very odd, that one may consider that he may have been thinking, okay, dad is going to be so caught up in trying to protect the family, this and that, likely not be prepared. We don't know. Maybe he's wearing a backpack. He's got a bunch of things in his hands. Who knows? But maybe he then thinks he can catch him off guard if he's armed and sneaks up behind him or something of that nature. But it is a very strange crime. And the first thing that came to mind, as we were talking about before, is maybe he sees the beautiful young girls come through with the family, becomes fixated on them, and says, look, I'm going to do what I got to do to take out these loving parents in order to get what he ultimately desired.
You know, I'm just thinking this through, Dr. Jeff. First of all, I want to talk to you about who is this perp willing to take on a big dude. The husband, the wife, what is motivating him? We're not hearing anything about a sex attack on mom. We're not hearing anything about a robbery. So, of course, the state, as you know, doesn't have to prove motive at trial. You never have to go bang around into the defendant's head to figure out, wow, what were they thinking? You don't have to prove that. But as a practical matter, Dr. Jeff, a jury wants to hear motive, like in Brian Koberger, right? That piece of crap, may he rot in hell. People were hung up at the get-go.
Yeah, that's the
Why
truth.
would this guy, a PhD, go into the home at 3-4 o'clock in the morning and murder 4 people without a sex attack, without a robbery? He didn't even know them. So it would be hard for some people on the jury, not me, but some people to piece together that you don't need a motive or that you will never know the motive. But I'm looking for a motive because it may help me identify who is this guy. For instance, was he a neighbor? And he hadn't been living there for long. They had just moved to the jurisdiction. And was this a neighbor that saw the little girls, say, like in Shasta and Dillon Groney in the above ground pool, and went, hey, I want that little girl? Did he follow them? Did he know them? Was he lying in wait for just the right little girl to try to steal? I mean, who is this guy? Give me some insight, Dr. Jeff.
Well, I think that this is a person who not only may have wanted to violate the little girls, we still don't know that, of course, but that's a theory. But this is a person who wanted
Why
to
are you
violate
using words like that? Why are you
Well,
saying
this is a
violate? You
person.
make it sound like he had a traffic citation, violated right of way.
Well,
If that's his
what I'm
motive, he wants to the little girl. Put it out there.
Yeah.
I don't have time for niceties. This is not high tea at Windsor Castle, Jeff.
I totally understand, Nancy. But I use the word violation because it's more than just a possible sex attack, but a complete attack on the entire family. This is someone who may have had intense hatred or resentment towards family structures. You asked for a motivation, and I'm giving you one. This is a person perhaps who came from a background like Koberger, where he had, situations where he felt that he was being treated like a piece of crap or didn't have a happy family. And therefore, this violation of the whole family structure, it is an abomination. He may not have only wanted to destroy these little girls, but to destroy the entire family. That is a real perversion.
Medic 4, circular first responders, stage for police, assault, possible stabbing, Devil's Den State Park. Washington County received a call from the visitor center. 2 children are there. They advised that their parents were assaulted. One was possibly stabbed. The parents are missing.
Be advised, this just occurred at Devil's Den. Unit still en route. Attacked a male and a female on Devil's Den hiking trail, and then took off in a small black sports car with tape over the plate. And we suspect the suspect of injuries due to the witness seeing the suspect stab one of them.
We are live at Devil's Den State Park, Arkansas. A mother and a father in the prime of their life with their 2 little girls. The 2 little girls, ages 7 and 9, with mommy and daddy on a hike before everybody has to go back to school. Both of these parents, nurses. The parents are dead, stabbed dead. At this hour, there is a manhunt for the perp. The two little girls, mom yells to them to run and get away, and they do. They see their father getting stabbed dead, and they hear their mother screaming. With me, an all-star panel, straight out to Nanette Sosa, standing by at Devil's Den State Park. 1, we have a composite sketch. 2, the FBI has gotten involved. And 3, a vehicle was spotted. This is such malice aforethought. There was duct tape or electrical tape over at least part of the tag number. I mean, this guy put a lot of thought into this. Let's start with a composite sketch. Nanette Sosa, what do you know?
The composite sketch shows a white male with a ball cap, and his eyes are set close together. His face looks unshaven. It's a very somber look, how it's drawn out, how it's sketched.
He doesn't have any lips. His lips are really thin. I noticed that now.
And then
his eyes almost look alien-like.
The shirt that he's wearing is more like a sweatshirt type of shirt for this sketch.
Putting together a sketch like this is extremely laborious. Ron Bateman with us. Remember, we got the sketch of the Rachel Morin, that's case you investigated, perp, and it was dead on as best as we could get it. And he was caught on cam, but only his back was caught on cam when he attacked a little girl out in California, unrelated to the Rachel Morin case. Ron Bateman, former sheriff in Arundel County, Maryland. Ron, how do you make a composite sketch?
Hopefully we have witnesses, adult witnesses, because your two juveniles are going to be extremely upset, and probably their view of things are going to be skewed. But so hopefully we have some adults that are not emotionally involved in this, and we're able to give good, accurate descriptions of the suspect to allow such a very crisp, clean composite of this suspect. I like it.
Sydney Sumner, what do we know about the car?
We know the car is a 4-door black sedan. The word sports car was thrown around frequently in initial reports, and the 911 operator has confirmed that with other calls, she's kind of ruled out that it was a muscle car.
Yeah,
so we know it wasn't like an American Mustang, something of that sort. And this 911 operator, who has a special penchant for cars and types of cars, believes that it's probably a foreign car, an import. So we also heard at one point a 2012 Mazda, but police ruled out that car as the suspect vehicle because it was still in the park as they were completing their investigation.
Okay,
so all we really have to go on is this 4-door black sedan. Feels more like a sports car. And people who called about this car said that it was driving erratically when it left the park. Somebody said they felt like they were almost hit by this car when they reported it. They said it's very, very loud. That's one of the big commonalities. And the other one is that that license plate is covered in some kind of tape, electrical duct tape.
So either he has a loud like exhaust, or he just has like a piece of crap car and it's just making some noises. You know what I mean? And thank you, Marcy, for the super chat. That was so nice of you guys, all of you guys. Thank you.
Black 4-door sedan. This is interesting.
Oh, and like I said, I thought it looked more like maybe like a Mercedes when I saw it. But it does look like a foreign car.
The license plate either fully or partially obscured by electrical or duct tape. I-70 or 220, covering up part of the tag number with duct tape. You know what that tells me, Andrea Lewis? This ain't his first time at the rodeo. I mean, I wouldn't think if I were going out for a hike, why would you cover up part of your tag number with duct tape? That's mens rea, malice aforethought, intent. Out the
Nancy,
yin-yang.
Yes, that is a huge piece of evidence here. That shows us there is no question this was premeditated. He was not going there for a hike. He was not going there to do any bird watching. This was a man who went to the park that day with one thing in mind: he's going to commit a crime. What was that crime? That's what we're trying to determine. Did he go there to initially rob someone, to unfortunately possibly get access to young children? Or was it, as it ended up, to murder two innocent parents? We don't yet know, but what we do know is he put thought into this. And to your point, Nancy, which is an excellent point, people who are this brazen generally have done this before. You don't come up with this stuff on your first go round. This man knew what he was doing, and that says a lot.
Agree, disagree, Dr. Jeff Gardier? You're the psychologist.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. We typically see that these types of individuals either follow or study these types of tactics or have done them before. The other thing about this tape that was used on the license plates, I suspect either he knew he would dump the car as quickly as possible because that would draw attention to the car on a highway trying to obscure your license plates, or pull off somewhere and then pull off the tape and then get back into the car.
Nanette Sosa, there are some reports that he was wearing gloves.
Yes, you're correct. Fingerless gloves at that, which would leave fingerprints. I would, and if he stabbed these the husband and wife, so I would think there's some prints to be found somewhere, possibly. And also the couple, they were found on the trail.
On the trail. Rachel Morin was dragged off the trail. I mean, Chris Adams, you're the survivalist. Who goes hiking? And what I'm getting at, Chris, is that he had nefarious intent, malicious intent going into this. He wasn't just on the trail and went, hey, I want a little girl, and there one is. He went in with his tag obscured with duct tape, or some people call it electrical tape, and he was wearing gloves, and it's 90 degrees. Are you sure about that, Chris Adams? Long sleeves, dark long pants, a dark baseball cap, sunglasses, and gloves to go hiking up a hill in 5-degree temperatures, Chris Adams?
As someone who hikes a bunch of trails, that would be a person I'd immediately keep an eye on if it was anywhere near me. It already sounds suspicious. It doesn't sound like an average hiker. This was somebody with intent to do harm to someone, as far as I'm concerned. Your average hikers don't dress like that, and they definitely don't act like that.
Tip line, the Arkansas State Police, 479-751-6663. Repeat, 479-751-6663. I can't stress enough how much we need citizen sleuths. Gabby Petito's case would never have been solved if Red, Blue, and Methane, I believe was their handle online, did not spot her white Ford Transit in dispersed parking. Her body, well, what was left of it, was found a good distance away from that van. But if they hadn't seen it and reported it, we would never know what happened to Gabby Petito. Dispersed camping is, there are no electrical hookups, no bathrooms, nothing. You are out in the wild. She would never have been found. And we've been told that she was identified originally by her sweatshirt, not by her body, because animals had already attacked it. That's how much we need citizen sleuths, not just people on the trail that may have seen or observed something we don't know yet, but people regarding that car. It was loud. What does that mean? Don't know. Could mean any number of things. We know it was a 4-door black sedan. Some people thought it was a Mazda. And we know the tag was obscured with black duct tape.
It's probably not obscured anymore, but there might be like evidence of the duct tape being on there. You know, if it was really hot and then you like pull off the duct tape, maybe some of it would stick to it. I don't know. But thank you. You think it looks like an Audi? I thought it looked more like a Mercedes. Phoenix blue. Okay. I do have another video I want to show you guys. I think this is the end of this one.
Indicating malicious intent
Well, listen
along
to it.
with what he was wearing. These parents died trying to save their two little girls. This guy is on the loose. Tip line 479-751-6663. A brazen attack. And now police are looking for the vehicle and they're scouring 2,500 acres of wilderness. One quick question to Nanette Sosa joining us from Devil's Den Park. Are there cams at the entry and exit? If you left in a vehicle and didn't leave from the perimeter of the park itself, we might have a shot at getting a good description of the car. Are there cams?
For the entrances and the exits here at Devil's Den regarding cameras where information could be picked up, they're not sure. The authorities here have not directly answered the question. It has been asked. I personally asked, but that has not been disclosed. You're looking at 2,500 acres, and in between the waterfalls, rock formations, you have 12 trails, you got campsites, cabins. The area is rural, and not just that, if you're on one of the trails, it's likely you don't even have cellular service. You can't even make a phone call. So there's that thought. But as far as cameras, that has not been officially disclosed, at least not to me.
And that is why we need you. The FBI has been brought in to help the Arkansas State Police. If you saw this vehicle, if you have a home or business cam, remember Alex Murdaugh, another sack of crap that murdered his wife and son, Maggie and Paul, to cover up his own financial wrongdoings to the tune of millions of dollars he's stealing. He went down a rural road and he faked an attempt on his life to cover the fact that he is the killer. There were no cameras, but guess what? At the entrance of that rural road was a little Baptist church. And guess what they had? A camera. So any camera footage, we need it. Please help the Arkansas State Police. These little girls need to grow up knowing that we cared. We didn't just talk about it. We did something about it. 479-751-6663. And now we remember an American hero, Officer David Islam, NYPD, just 36, shot and killed at an office tower in Manhattan providing security. Leaves behind his wife, who is pregnant, and two little children. American hero, Officer David Islam. Thank you to our guests for being with us, but especially to you for being.
So she actually came out with another video. This one just came out a couple hours ago. Oh, sorry. A couple hours ago, 2 hours ago. So it's only 11 minutes long. I'm not sure. It just says Devil's Den horror manhunt underway. So I don't know if it's just something we've already watched and they cut it down to 11 minutes or if it's something new. So I figured we'd play it.
First responders, stage for police, assault, possible stabbing.
Be on the lookout for a white male suspect wearing black gloves, sunglasses, dark colored pants.
2 children are there. They advised that their parents were assaulted.
At this hour, there is a manhunt. Devil's Den
it's kinda like what
horror.
Shreya did.
The killer is on the loose. There is a manhunt. A mom and a dad, both slaughtered with the children present. The two little girls, they see their father getting stabbed dead, and they hear their mother screaming.
Mom and dad know that this predator is coming after these young girls.
Lying in wait, a mother and a father dead.
They're going to fight for not only their own lives, but also for their children.
Why? Why attack these two loving parents? Did he follow them? Did he know them? Was he lying in wait for just the right little girl to try to steal? Dr. Jeff Gardier is joining us. You know him well. We have been analyzing cases together since, I know for a fact, 1997. Clinical psychology professor, Touro College of Osteopathic Medicine, called America's Psychologist. Dr. Jeff, you and I have studied so many cases. And when we were covering a case together at Court TV, we talked about parents that tell their children, that turn and attack the attacker and tell the children, run. The more we're analyzing this case, the more that's becoming apparent. The two little girls did that. They ran, Dr. Jeff. And I think it is a child this young, anyway, impulse to stay with the parents, even though the parents are getting slaughtered. They'll stay right there. They might scream, they might run around, but they won't leave unless they're told, run. And that is what parents are told to they're instructed to tell their children if the family's under attack. I told my children that when they were little, and I still tell them that. If anything happens, run. Leave your father and I, leave me, and run and go get help. In other words, get to safety. Do you think that's what happened, Dr. Jeff?
There is quite that possibility, Nancy, and you're absolutely right. When we tell our kids to run, it's for their own safety, but it's also to get help. And what we're seeing here is there is the possibility that this killer, whether premeditated or not, was an individual with this kind of struggle going on, who was acting with intense emotional state, rage, or frustration. And that was also very scary to the children. But that impulse of the parents to protect their children by any means, of course, is admirable and what we want to see in parents. They sacrifice their lives, it seems, here.
I want to go back to our special guest, Chris Adams, aka Turtle Man, who is a wildlife survivalist. Chris, we are learning that the little girls said that they ran until they couldn't hear their mom screaming anymore. Now, it was, and Annette Sosa will jump in if I've got this wrong, it was about a mile to the visitor center. What does that mean? The perp could have been watching them, could have followed them in and tailed them for a mile. But more importantly, these two little girls ran for a mile. Two little girls ran under the age of 10, ran for a mile in this terrain, Chris, hearing their mother screaming. And we believe they were running downhill over all the rocks and the ups and the downs and the cracks in the surface. What would that have been like for little children in this terrain running?
Firstly, that's horrific and not only so unnerving, considering I've worked, in wildlands all across the southern part of Georgia here. But the terrain in that type of area, it cuts, and I can only imagine, an adult trying to do that, but two children, their legs are smaller. They're not getting enough, windage running like that. They're wearing themselves out, tripping, stumbling, falling. It would cut them up pretty bad, or at least bruise them up. And in the temperatures like it's been, the highs out there have been in the mid to lower 90s. And I can't imagine what the humidity's been like, but any amount of time running in that heat, it'd wear a little child out very easily.
Right now, the FBI joining in the search. I want this guy found. I want him brought to justice. You don't think these two little girls are going to hear their mother's screams for the rest of their lives every time they go to bed? They will. Ron Bateman, hey, you can't just drop a bomb on us like that, a fact bomb. You're totally correct, but explain to everybody why an outdoor scene is so hard to process. I mean,
okay, I won't make you guys watch that all again. I wasn't sure if it was going to be anything new, but she made it look good. So there is. I just want to warn everybody, because I warn you guys when there's crap out there. There is something that's circulating around saying that they found the suspect. That this isn't. No, they didn't. They didn't find a suspect. Unfortunately, this guy that they have a picture of online that they're saying is the suspect was arrested 20 years ago, and this was his mugshot, and he's like clean and free and doing great now. It looks like. So I don't want to put his picture out there because that's his past, and he's grown from it. But it's one of those blog posts, like how people can just write on the internet whatever they want. And it's literally called My Blog. And it's only this person that writes on it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not true. But I am going to make sure that I look into this case, get more information. I did FOIA for Brian Kohlberger's case. I FOIA'd Monroe, Pennsylvania, Latah County, just to be extra sure, and Boise. Am I missing anywhere? That's the only 3 places, right? If I am, let me know in the comments and I'll FOIA that too. And then I'll let you guys know what they say and how much they're, wanting to charge and what they're wanting to give. And if they're willing to give anything, who knows? Who knows? What was I going to say? Anything? Nope, I don't think so. She wants pizza for dinner. That sounds good. That actually sounds good. I'm hungry. I wonder when Vincent gets off. I'm like, wonder when Vincent gets off. I hate cooking. I swear I'd starve if it wasn't for him. I think that's my autism, though. I really do. I'm going to blame it on that. I'm blaming it on that shit. Because I will literally, we'll have food here, right? Plenty of food to make. And I will sit there and be like, I'm hungry. But I don't want to, eat. Oh, yeah. Pullman. I knew I was missing one. So Pullman, I'll figure out what county that is. You forget to eat. Sometimes I do that. I know. She's just standing over me now. Oh, that's nice. Hang on, Mama. Oh, our bird had her babies, by the way. Oh, I don't know if Ladybug's still listening, but she'll be excited. I know. She likes birds with me. But yeah, we have 2 more. So we're grandparents to 6 birds this year. 6 of them. They literally trusted our little spot to make their babies 3 different times. That tells you something about yourself, I mean, really, I can go out there and clean and that bird does not even care what I do. Just as long as I'm not rolling down the blinds that she's on, she's cool. She's cool. And I think she likes it when I clean it after she leaves. Because then she comes right back to it. And I'm like, oh, it's because I cleaned it. You have a set of turtle doves. Oh, Marcy, that's sweet. I just have they're pigeons, but they're cute. One of them, it's just one's polka dotted. And Vincent was like, I swear, okay, I took the dogs for a walk and I was way over here. And the birds are right here. And I saw her. I saw Cher because their name's Sunny and Cher. And I'm like, is that Cher? Is that my bird? And it was her with her little babies after they were born. After they flew the nest, the first 2. And then Vincent didn't believe me. And then he took a walk with the dogs and he saw her. He's like, oh my gosh, she is out there. I'm like, yeah, I think she follows us. I thought it was nice. The Wicked Witch of the Midwest. I couldn't tell what your name was at first. I am going to put the Brian Kohlberger. I know everybody's posted this video, and I don't know if I'm going to post it or not. I'm going to see if I can get the audio better first. I'm going to try to put the Brian Kohlberger traffic stop into Adobe like enhancement. It like it's supposed to be like enhances the volume. We're gonna see if it works. I don't know. If it works, I'll put it out. And then yeah. My birds are still here. Yeah. Yeah, Ladybug. I figured you were probably in the chat somewhere, maybe just resting. Yeah, they had 2 and they were like just laying there, like kind of on their side, like looking kind of weird because they're just babies. They're fresh. Vincent gets up on the ladder, like he doesn't get close. Like when she leaves, he'll get like on the ladder kind of far away and he'll zoom in with his phone. And he's done it ever since she's come here and she doesn't care. Like even with her eggs, like he shows me every time her eggs come. Anyway, because he wants to see how many there's up there. It's cute. We're a bird family now. Even though I got a cat here, a dog there, and a dog there. They're all in here with me. That's so cute. They're all in here. Even Rocky. He still won't sit on his thing. I'll have to show you guys pictures of the dress that I'm going to wear too whenever I maybe I'll do it when I come on later. Or maybe I'll do it on my other channel. But yeah, I picked out a dress and some jewelry. And the gift will be here today through the 1st. So today, tomorrow, or the next day. So we're good because the party's not till the 6th. So I'm ahead of schedule. I got her a silver rattle from Things Remembered, and it's like sterling silver, and it has their last name on it. Well, they're not together, but they're not married. But I put his last name because I asked her, I said, what name do I put? Like, if I engrave something, what name do I put? So she told me. So I forget exactly what it says. I don't know what it says. Shit. What did I put on that rattle? Now I'm curious to know. Welcome. Oh wait, that's not me. Okay, well, it's not going to show me my rattle. That says welcome, baby Erica. I don't know who baby Erica is. I forget what I put. Like maybe. I can't even remember. I can't remember. We'll all figure it out. When I get it, I'll come on and I'll show it to you guys because I forget. And she doesn't listen. No, she doesn't listen. My brother does sometimes. So she won't know what I got her. And then I was going to get her a jelly cat, which I keep forgetting. Can you get those like in store around? Or do you have to go? I guess it says Barnes and Noble, but I don't know. Oh, you can find a store. Because I was going to get her a jelly cat, I thought. Like I thought that would be cute. Like a little like teddy bear or something. Because then, I don't know. Those are gifts I feel like the little baby, he can have. I'm so used to having girls, even though we have boys. He can have, I don't know. It'll be cute. I'm excited to have a great nephew. We need a baby in this family. I've been saying that for like the last few months. I'm like, we need a baby. And look at that. We were getting one. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I will have to show you, like I said, what I'm going to wear because I want to get your guys' opinion on it. And I'm going to get some new Birkenstocks, I think, because I need some new ones. And by the time you buy sandals, like that are dress sandals, you might as well just buy something that you're going to want to wear all the time, right? That's what I say. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. I will see you guys all tonight. Maybe. I might not be here tonight, actually. I have to go to the dentist tomorrow pretty early. I may come on tonight, but it'll be maybe earlier. Or if I do, it'll be for just like an hour or so. We'll read over the rest of the documents because we only have like 10 more. So I may come on and do that real quick with you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Go out, spend some time in the sun. I'm all shut in right now. I can't wait to open the window, like the curtains, and just, see the sun because it seems like it's like 10 o'clock at night now. But thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys all tonight or tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire